What is the chronology of ancient Egypt?
The chronology of ancient Egypt. So here we go. So as you can see right here, it starts with Narmer is credited as the founder of the unified Egypt, meaning there's pre-dynastic era where there's dynasties before the first dynasty. So when the first dynasty came together, Narmer and his wife Neithotep, what they did is that Narmer from Upper Kemet, at this time this is now called Egypt, so I'm not going to use Egypt yet because I just mentioned earlier that Egypt is a Greek narrative for Egyptos. So at this time it's called Kemet. The founders called it Kemet, meaning land of the blacks, land where black people reside. And at this time, around 3150 before Common Era, Narmer from Upper Kemet marries someone from the ruling family of Lower Kemet in the Delta, and her name is Neithotep. Where from? She's from Sais in the Delta. She's under 20 city-states under one crown, Desert Crown, Red Crown. Narmer come from the White Crown that controlled 22 city-states, Nomes or Sapats. When they combine, he from Upper Kemet, from a ruling family, he from Thebes. His wife that became his wife, Neithotep, from the Delta. She had 20, put them together, 20 and 22 is 42 city-states. And so that is the United States of Kemet. They're the first one that, like the United States of America, they were the first one to do the United States, but not America of Kemet. 3150 before Common Era, we're in the year 2022, add 2022 to it. It'll tell us approximately how long ago that was. That era is called the early dynastic era, or proto-dynastic era, right? That lasts up to the third dynasty. Why? At the third dynasty is known as the Old Kingdom. So anytime you hear the Old Kingdom or the Pyramid Age, this is the Stone Age era. The reason why it's called the Pyramid Age because the first pyramid on the entire planet shows up. By whom? The pharaoh name is Djoser. It's called the Step Pyramid. His advisor name is Imhotep. He the one that commissioned that. Around 2670 before Common Era, third dynasty. So the Old Kingdoms, some scholars say it goes up to the 6th dynasty. Some of them argue that nope, it goes up to the 8th dynasty. This particular timeline scroll goes up to the 8th dynasty. So that's one golden age of classical high culture. Then it went into a first intermediate period. What's that? Of chaos, of uncertainty. Or it could be when the 42 city-states is not unified. 9th to the 11th dynasty. First intermediate period. Then before I go there, during the Old Kingdom and the early dynastic era, the capital was at Memphis. The people called it Mennefer. And that is in the area between where Upper and Lower Kemet is about to transition. There's an area right there by Cairo, maybe around 70 feet, about 75 feet above sea level, roughly around that area. That's where the first capital was. Then it went to the first intermediate period. Then after that, what time the first intermediate period? Around the 9th to 11th dynasty. Then it come out another golden age of classical high culture that's called the Middle Kingdom, or the Coffin Age era of literature, literary era. 11th through the 14th dynasty. Who's the founder? Is Menhotep II. Where is he from? He's from the area that they call Wosei. Wosei is what the people call it. We now call it what? Luxor, Thebes, or Karnak. That region right there. The capital was moved also to that region, and the forces nature there is Amenmut and Khonsu. At the Old Kingdom, it was Ptah II and Nefertun. After this golden age, this is around the time where they let some foreign refugees people come in that they call the Hyksos, the Hyksos. Eventually, they going to bring in some chaos and take over part of it, so it's not unified. So this brings a second intermediate period where the 42 city-states is not unified. That lasted maybe like 100 or 110 years or so. and then then another golden age happens because the people from Wolsey, from Upper Kemet, Thebes, Lexer, or Karnak, they end up kicking out the Hyksos, the Hyksos, and started a new golden age known as the New Kingdom, Templar Pyramid Age, 1819 20th dynasty. The capital is up there at Wolsey still, Thebes, Luxor, Karnak area. And the deities up there is Amun, and Khonsu again. After that came another golden age, the third intermediate period. This intermediate period is dealing with some Libyans. Who are these Libyans? I call them replacement people. They're not indigenous Africans, but they're natives because they're people that come from the Levant, or they're by Asia. Some people that come from Europe, various places of Europe, and even in the Mediterranean Sea, there's some islands, people come there, and there's also some remnants of some indigenous people, and these people get admixed together, and it produce some people, they call themselves Amazi, but over there in Libyans, well, they came in from, they're west of the Delta. They came in and scrambled for power after the last Ramesses transition, maybe Ramesses 11th. And brought about that intermediate period with the Libyans, and that lasted until the south of Upper Kemet. That's another territory that's called Kush, some say, or Ethiopia or Nubia. They work out a deal, come together with the ruling family of Wolsey of Upper Kemet, and unified, and they have a meeting with the Libyans, and or a campaign. There really was no fight, and unified, and brought about the they unified again. But at this time, the ruler from Kush, Meroe, is in power, and they unified the 42 city-states, Upper and Lower Kemet, because at this time it's not called Egypt yet. And not only that, they also have the area of Kush. And so the rulers of Kush, like I said, come from Meroe, and they unified. So it's Kemet and Kush. It's like it's a homogeneous culture. That lasted until around 664. There was a ruler. There was a Kush king named Taharka. He's also in the Bible, Taharka. You can read about him in there. He had some issues with the Assyrians and ended up losing his life around 664 with Ashurbanipal's father, Ashur-Haden, and he lost his life. He killed Ashur-Haden, and then his son Ashurbanipal, which you can see right here, get the upper hand and deal with Taharka. He's very successful. And they're also working together with the Libyans, as you can see, Samti. So when they're successful, the Assyrians successful, they allow their puppet rulers to rule Kemet. The Libyans, who was, of the third intermediate period, that ruling family from there. And then the Assyrians, they go back to their own home court and do their administration there. And Sais is the area, 26th dynasty. After that, there's an issue came up. Some different rulers, colonizers come in, the Persians. They came in with Cambyses II. They take over. They resume power over all of Kemet, and but they rule from their own home court advantage of Susa or Babylon and some other places. 27th, 31st dynasty. They run out of gas. Why? Because we see at that time that the Libyans are not done, so they go and hire some mercenaries, some Greek mercenaries, from Macedon, the Alexander, and hired them, trained them, bring them to Kemet in the delta of an area called Necrotis, have them there work with, hire them so they can work together to challenge the Persian, and they were very successful, kind of. Then it backfired. Then the Greeks said, we're going to be the new ruler. So the Greeks took over with the Alexander. Alexander, we know, transition. He died, and the territory that he ended up acquiring gets divvied up with his 5 different generals. Ptolemy gets when they separated, divvy it up. Ptolemy gets Egypt. So Egypt is a Greek narrative, and they call it Egyptos. Egypt is, the Greeks call it Egyptos. Whenever history gets to rewrite history, right? So they call it Egyptos. Where do they put the capital? Does it stay up there? We'll say, Thebes, Luxor, or Karnak region? No, they put it at the delta and in the area they call Alexandria. And so that's where their administration is for the Greek Macedons. Greeks, they rule from there. The Ptolemies, their female counterpart we know are the Cleopatras, Bernices, and Semnos. So they rule up until 30 before Common Era. At 30 Common Era, with Cleopatra the Seventh and Mark Antony, they transition. New rulers come in, new colonizers come in. Who? The Romans. They come in 30, and they keep it until 641 before Common Era. Well, the Romans also use the same narrative as the Greeks. Egyptos, right? Capital, they keep it right there where the Greeks had it in Alexander. Romans run out of gas in 641 Common Era. To whom? To the Arab Islam culture. Then they come in and take over, and they're the new colonizers. And the year being 641, and the Arabs are the Arab Republic are the one that's still in power now. Where did the Arabs, do they put their capital of any of the 42 nomes or sapats? No, they put it in Cairo, where it's at right now.